Welcome, we're doing a review. That's right, we're doing a review of Injinji socks. So today we've got the hiker and liner, we've got the trail and the outdoor. Full disclosure, Injinji sent me these socks, they didn't pay me, they just said, hey, do you want to try some of our socks? I said, of course. So that's what we're doing here. And not only are we testing socks, we're testing toe socks. So that's what these are here, aside from this one, we'll get to that. But these are toe socks. If you never used toe socks, the whole benefit behind this, the idea is that you don't get chafing between your toes, so you get less blisters. So we've got 3 different socks, and this one on the left here, we'll start with this, comes with a liner and a sock, and you'll notice the sock itself doesn't have toes, but the liner does. With that, this is the most expensive one, around $29 US. This one I believe is around 17 US, and this is about 22, 23 US. Now first up, this one here with the hiker liner and socks, the, as it's called, hiker and liner. This one's pretty versatile. I like these toe socks, they feel really comfortable. You essentially have a layer here that's gonna get extra stinky and smelly that you're protecting with this layer. So at nighttime, if you're someone like me who sleeps with their socks off your feet, you can tuck them inside your other socks and they stink up your tent a little bit less. And you can potentially wash these socks in a river and hang them to dry in your tent, and you could hike with just these while these dry out. And on the flip side, I have hiked with just the liners and they are pretty comfortable. They're a little bit thin, but I mean, obviously they're a liner, so it does give you a little bit of versatility. If you are hiking multiple days, then you can potentially mix and match, or if it's getting cold, you wear both of them. It adds a little bit of warmth. With that, in the summertime, I find these to be a little bit warm, having both the hiker and the liner in hot summer sun. So that brings us to the other two here. We've got the trail. This one's designed for more trail runners, mountaineering, big hikes, that kind of thing. There's a main difference between this one and this one. The trail version here, the toes, the length of the actual fabric is longer than on this one, which is the outdoor. And the main difference is the materials. This is mostly made with merino wool, and this one is made with their Cool Max material. So it's 39% Cool Max, 58% nylon, 3% lycra, where these are, I believe, 75% merino wool, 22% nylon, 3% lycra. So these just feel a lot softer and nicer. If you're someone who prefers to wear wool, well then this would be more the sock for you. But the difference here that I found is the length. So you can look at the length of this toe versus this toe. And it's hard to see. This one's about 3 or 4 millimeters longer, and I have short toes. And so what I found, the difference between these is these fit really well, and these end up jamming right where the toe connects. On my toes, it jams in there because these are longer than my toes themselves. So I found these actually to be a little bit uncomfortable. They kind of pinched on my toes. These ones, it's not just this one toe, all of them are shorter, so they fit my toes perfectly. These socks are among my favorite that I have out of all my hiking socks. I have some Injinji and a couple other brands that I'm testing out right now, and these ones are so comfortable. The only downside to these, with being a longer sock, is that this is a little too warm in the summer, although they did just come out with a new one that's a shorty, so a little more ventilation, but they also have another one that's cut around the heel and stitched, so if you're running, it doesn't slip off your heel. So they have a couple other ones there that I haven't tried, but I wear a very lightweight sock in the middle of the heat of the summer, which is what I'm filming this in right now, but on shoulder season, spring and fall, this is my go-to. As I mentioned, this one is just a little too long. I've been wearing this a bunch, and it slowly is kind of softening up a bit, and it's starting to pinch a little bit less on my toes, but I would recommend, if you're looking at getting Injinji socks, look at how long your toes are and compare that with the different socks, because you'll notice this one too has shorter toes. So this is the only one that I have of the 3 that have the longer length of the toes. As for durability, I don't have any holes in these things. They've been getting beat up and they're just fine. That's the same with all 3 of them. This stretchiness is super nice, comfortable. No holes on the liners either. I really like these ones too. You can wear them as is. These ones are made of a different mix here. It's some wool, 43% wool, 43% acrylic, 12% nylon, and 2% lycra. These feel pretty soft, not quite as soft as this one, because obviously this has more wool in it, but in general, I give all these Injinji socks big thumbs up, except for this one, not a fan. Let's go measure my toes, and then I'll measure the lengths of these to show you exactly what I got, and then you guys can compare with the lengths of your toes. If you want to get a pair of these, then you'll know what's what. So this isn't the easiest thing to film here, but you can see right in there, this toe here is about 1.5 inches long, just a hair bit over. You can see 2 inches is up there. So, you know, that gives you kind of an idea. And I don't know if my toes are super short or whatever, if they're average, I'm not sure, but it gives you an idea. Now comparing these, this toe length on the merino one is only, so just over an inch and inch and a smidge, one tick there, where this one is noticeably, yeah, it's 1.5 inches. That's why, so this is just barely hitting the bottom of my foot, and that's why I feel the chafing, where this one does not. So that's why, you know, you might want to just measure that. So if you have longer toes, you'd want to go with this one. If you got the same length toes as me, where 1.5 inch for the second toe, then this is going to be more for what you want to get. And let's just throw in this one here to compare. This one you can already tell is really short. So this is just over an inch long. My toe 1.5 inch would be down here. So you can see these are much shorter. This is something I've never heard anyone talk about with toe socks, is the length of the toe, but it really does make a difference, because if that fabric is able to jam between and hit your toes as you're walking, because as your foot is pushing in, it's constantly pushing that fabric, and if that fabric is able to chafe and rub against the, you know, the fork of the toes, then it does start to chafe. It doesn't feel that comfortable. So that's something I would recommend, is measure your toes and then see the length of the actual sock toe fabric, and then get something that fits. If you guys want to check out these socks, I'll link them up in the description down below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.